everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Sheck. And today, we're pretty lucky. We had a group of very smart young women come through from Pakistan recently with some interesting concepts, and we wanted to highlight them individually. You can also catch them in our Open Silicon Valley overview, but today we're going to spend a little more time. And the first person we have with us is Arooj Ismail, the co-founder of GharPar. Welcome, Arooj.
Thank you. Thank you, Faruk, for having me over here. I'm excited.
Our pleasure. And we look forward to getting to know you in the next 10 minutes. So let's just dive in, Tech Sheck style. Tell us, Arooj, a little bit about yourself and a little bit about GharPar.
Okay. So basically, I was born in France and moved back to Pakistan when I was 5, didn't know English or Urdu, was just a French speaker. So kind of had to fit in back into Pakistan. So I always feel I would never kind of fit into the mold of what society was because of what my upbringing was.
Sure.
I was the first girl in my family to go abroad to do my undergrad. And I really fought for that. And then when I came back, I was in the corporate sector. I used to work at Coca-Cola before, and then I was at the British Council. But, there was just something within me that would always just say, you don't fit in here. There's something missing. And I think that kind of it drove from the fact that I always wanted to kind of give back to the society because I came from a very privileged household. I thought, we have a certain responsibility to give back. And my sister, who was also our CEO, was running a salon in Pakistan. And what happened with that was that we noticed that in Pakistan, an average income of a salon worker is around just 8,000 rupees. Now, when I convert that in dollars, it's around $40. So $40 per month was their average income. So the idea of our startup kind of started in the sense that how do we kind of empower women and make them financially independent by giving them a living wage and beyond. And through that idea, we conceived GharPar, which it's an Urdu word, which essentially means at home. So we're the Uber of at-home beauty services in Pakistan.
Very cool. Very cool. So, very interesting. And, I have been to Pakistan and I've seen kind of there's a very mom and pop and it's a very mom and pop industry.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to kind of change this?
The thing is that the informal industry in Pakistan exists of beauty, right? So if you're a woman, you would realize that, beauticians come to your homes for your waxing or for your upkeep of beauty needs. Sorry. We have a vacuum cleaner in the back.
Oh, good.
So there's an upkeep of, for your upkeep, you always get an informal person who comes to your house and does that.
Right.
Essentially, what we did was that because we realized the informal industry exists, it was a matter of digitizing it and secondly, formalizing that industry, right? So we didn't want to go into the pop and mom route, right? We kind of wanted to take leverage of technology to enable these women to go to people's houses. So the way the system works is there's an app. So the client, the client basically books a service, not a beautician. So they just say that, I want these following services. Right. And then the best suited beautician gets notification. And she then goes to the client's home. So essentially, we're just using tech to enable as many women as we can, both from the client end as well as the supply end.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So that makes sense. So you're basically providing that intermediary service through the app. Now, first question around that is, how do you help people who have established preferences? Let's say, they go to a certain, waxing person or they go to a certain nail person. Do you accommodate for things like that?
Absolutely. So there's some services in which there's nudity involved, so like waxing or massage. And in that, women get comfortable with one particular person. So with that, so we call our clients our members, right? So if you use us more, then you get those certain privileges.
Understood.
because we kind of have to build in a stickiness model within it. So like if you've used us 3 times, then you get access to your favorite beautician.
Got it.
So
Cool.
yeah, so we definitely have that in place because you cannot function without that. It's a very intimate experience, beauty services.
Understood. No, I get that. That makes sense. So wonderful. Providing the service. How does your revenue model work?
So it's a really interesting question. We have two revenue streams. Firstly is an income sharing model with the beautician. So GharPar takes a scaling commission from 30 to 40%, and the
Wow.
beautician takes a 60 to 70%.
Yeah.
Now you might think that this is, a lot. This is exploitative. You're taking a lot, right? But the ticket size of an average beauty appointment is around $30. So what
Okay.
they're getting in return is much higher, and their salaries of what they take back home is around 6 times higher than what they would earn at a salon.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
yeah, so that kind of also enables us to ensure that the women stick to the platform for us. Our second revenue stream is an e-commerce platform for products which the beautician buys via us. And this we added because we wanted to ensure that there was quality and that every service had the same product. It's not that the beautician is sourcing her products and just going, because that would then create a lot of havoc. So we kind of also manage the e-commerce end from the beautician side.
Very interesting. So question for you then around that. So as I can well imagine, and I
Mhm.
remember this just from my wife and my relatives' interactions, that the salon owners tend to be very territorial and want a
Yeah.
particular client base. How are you going to manage that? Because they're going to view you as a competitive threat.
So they do view us as a competitive threat. And I think it doesn't matter whether the salon owner views me as a competitive threat because the worker wants to work with us, right? Because we believe
Mm,
that, beauty should be done ethically, beauty should be done responsibly. It is not about exploiting labor, right? So
understood.
we have a very strong ethos that people and profit can go together.
Very cool.
You do not have to just chase profit. That is not a sustainable model.
No, that's great. No, that's great. It's good to see. And you're doing a lot. It's enabling a lot of women who potentially couldn't have access or to a better income or a better set of clientele. So that's very, very interesting. Do you feel like you have any other competitors out in the marketplace? Are there people doing similar concepts?
Farooq, we don't have any direct competition as such, so we take the salon as our indirect competition. We've had
Okay.
some mushroom growth, right? So like a lot of people think that we're sitting on a gold mine and this is a really easy concept, so they try to copy it.
Mhm.
And it's really interesting because we're called GharPar, and
Right.
in Islamabad we had a competitor which was called GharPay, and like it was really interesting because I was like, at least, like while you're imitating, like just be a bit innovative, you there's just a difference of one letter.
Funny.
Um, but they couldn't sustain themselves because it's a very technical job. You have to
Sure.
really think about a lot of facets within your operational model of how it's going to go. It's not as easy as like just saying one beautician is going from point A to point B and that's it.
True.
Um,
True. True. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, this is really interesting, and I'm glad, we're always happy to see young, vibrant entrepreneurs like you. And, as you've seen, people in the US now are very, very keen on seeing women entrepreneurs thrive
Yes,
in Pakistan.
absolutely.
And personally, I believe the more women entrepreneurial pursuits that occur in the country, it's probably better for the country overall. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we men like to fight a lot. So women tend to be better in terms of peacemaking.
Yeah. No,
So
I think apart from peacemaking, Farooq, I feel like
yeah,
women understand the
yeah,
client far more than a man does.
yeah.
And also we can understand the female segment much better, right? And that's 50%. That's
Yep,
50% of your market.
that is true.
So it's important to have both in the
No,
space.
that I would agree with you there without a doubt. I see that all the time. So In any case, as you know, Arooj, we try to keep Tech Check a little
Yes.
tight. Last question. What can the diaspora do to help?
So, personally, for me, what we're looking for is a strategic advisor because we are in the hyperscale mode. And I think in Pakistan, when you're in the startup phase, you never think about like going that big. Like it's always like a
Mhm.
day-to-day thing that you're troubleshooting constantly.
Sure, sure.
We're planning to scale internationally this year, inshallah. So we want like a strategic advisor who has done international scaling and a lot of hyperscale and growth that
Got it.
we could benefit from. So that's what we're looking for. And America has like the best advisors, really. They've built such huge companies that the scale just mesmerizes me.
Excellent. Well, I don't think you're going to have a challenge finding that because you're now definitely plugged into the right groups.
Yes,
So, and hopefully people who watch this, maybe somebody will reach out. We've
awesome.
seen that happen before. So, in any case, first of all, thank you very much for taking some time out. I know you're on a very busy schedule here. So, thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you for your time, Faruk. This was a pleasure.
Likewise. And to our audience, as you can see, continuing to bring you very unique, interesting startups from Pakistan. We want to continue spreading the positivity. Our country is going through severe challenges like it always has. But you know what? There's a lot of good things happening. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe and support what we do. And with that, I bid you all Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.